Greetings, mortals, I am the Fallen Shogun and welcome to the second ever episode of Fail State. Now, this one's going to be an interesting one. This is Starship Theory, which may actually even come off of Fail State because the developer has recently reappeared. Although I am doing a whole grain of salt with that one as we talk about the situation. Now, the reason Starship Theory is on fail state is because the developer disappeared. Obviously how I said it, and now they've just reappeared again. Now I'm hoping they stay appeared, but we'll have to see. Now let's carry on, let's go you. So my crew here, who's my best engineer? You are captain, no you're not. Okay, you're going to be an engineer, and you're going to be an engineer, now we can talking about things. Now, Starship Theory is RimWorld with ships. Literally, as you can see, you are on a ship which constantly floats forwards and will meet stuff like asteroids, combat and traders. And that's the game. Now the game, when it first came out in 2017 if I remember correctly, was not feature complete but fully formed. Obviously things were missing, but it still worked quite well. There was a massive amount of YouTubers who wanted to play the game, myself included. There was a lot of interest in this game. It seemed to have a great future ahead of it. And after like a first couple of months, some patches came out. Patches, of course, were fixing. How do I do this? Patches, of course, were actually fixing some of the issues. There are a few bugs and things in the game, and they were fixing them. And then at the tail end of 2017, if I remember correctly, there was complete and total radio silence. Now the developer was able to say something before he disappeared, which is good. But after that there was just radio silence. Because the developer said that life had happened, if I remember correctly, a while ago now. Let's put you on number 1. It was something to do with his child, and of course he had to step back. Now, if the AMA and other information is credible, he had at that point spent 3 years working on this game while also having a job. He obviously started to gain more money from the games. It was quite popular, but at that stage he was basically crunching it. You know, long hours, very little sleep, massive amounts of work. He basically overworked himself to death. Which isn't what you really want everyone on a developer, but that's what happened. And then, how much is this? It's 2 metal, so let's see, we've got metal. And then there's complete and total radio silence. So we'll get to that in a second to talk a bit about the game as well. So the game was literally, you have 6 resources. You have gold for complex stuff, you have silicon for simple gear, metals used for basically everything. Obviously your people that need food and water. Obviously credits can be used to buy things. So you get resources by mining lasers, as you can see here. I'm mining this already. I'm overheating. Oof. And you can mine stuff as time goes by. So you destroy asteroids by mining them. You can also obviously hope your little ship avoids them. There's a level of avoidance. You can see how much power you've got, how much CPU. You can see your cargo here. But you need to destroy asteroids to get resources, which they'd have obviously blue, red or gold inside them to get resources. Obviously if you overheat because you're not doing that, your ship will catch fire, things take damage. If your core takes damage, it explodes eventually and your ship dies. So your whole goal is to save the core. Now eventually we have to destroy this. We're going to start moving things around. So let's actually start putting things in and carry on talking about it. Now, of course, small crate. Cargo hatch, you put a cargo hatch there. We'll move on over here too. Now, like I say, the game had a lot of promise, and then the developer completely disappeared. Now, according to his AMA, he disappeared. Oof. Look at the health go down. Oh, blue and red. He disappeared because basically he was exhausted. He didn't work on the game, he didn't look at the game. Now, I'm okay with that prerogative. You don't want to work on the game, don't look at the game, you're allowed time off. But he did say it was easier, he just found it easier to not reply than it was to do anything with it. So obviously once he got away from it, he started enjoying his time away completely. Which is abandoning the game. You're allowed to have a real life. No one's ever going to judge you for that. My God, you're allowed to have time to yourself. But it was complete and total radio silence. My God, that is still overheating. Which is abandoning the game. Now, like I've said, in the last... The AMA was 9-10 months ago? Oh, ship detected. And... They has recently in the last month asked for a new artist to carry on building the game. So maybe this game will disappear off a failed state. I mean, of all 5 of you who are watching, you know, maybe that will be okay or not. Let's build some actual air vents. Because I'd like to see this game complete, but he said it's going to take maybe another couple of years, maybe, for it to be finished. And again, there's no guarantee that he'll actually finish it. No guarantee at all. Oh, okay, I want to sell Anthony. Is Anthony one of mine? No, I don't want to buy Anthony. So yeah, there's no guarantee that it will actually be finished, which is why I'm a little bit leery about if I should or should not do this. Because again, it's all very well having a life. No one's ever going to judge you for that. So, operations. Let's make you green. You're not doing anything, are you? Okay, let's make you general and get you to repair this, guys. Heat, fire. Please put the fire out. So yeah, the game was abandoned. Recently, it might start being rebuilt again. We can but hope. But that does show that the game has not been a big priority recently. Now again, it has a lot of promise. As you can see, it works quite well. The graphics are RimWorld-esque, you know, same stage. This stuff started popping up a lot during the time of RimWorld and Prison Architect. Little ships appear. The further up you get, the more advanced things become. You get bigger ships, more powerful ships, more weapons, lots more crew. Because you can buy crew, you can find crew from captured ships, stuff like that. So lots of things happen. Why am I still overheating? As you can see, it wasn't too advanced. Like obviously you need a lot more work. You see here, you can see codes. This here, the heat is 25 heat, and the cooling capacity is pretty meh. Requires 5 CPU. I've got a CPU. Oh, okay, let's power this off. Power that on. Now I actually have some cooling capacitor. As you can see, you have to turn things off. We have to get another CPU down, that's fine. So alright, let's give it another CPU panel. There we are. So that should cool us down. Actually, have to use the laser, as you can see. So yeah, the game had a huge amount of potential, which is a crying shame. The laser should be able to fire now without overheating. As you can see, there's a lot to the game. You need to make sure your weapons don't overheat so don't catch fire. You need to make sure you have plenty of storage for resources to pick up. You need to be able to make your own food and water, or find ice asteroids, which is actually quite rare. There's a lot of things to consider in the game. The bigger your ship, the greater chance of asteroids hitting you. Stuff like that. So you need to be able to make sure more things are going on. And as you can see, there's a huge amount of things you can do. Huge amount of things. Which is why I've had this game for a while now, and I wasn't going to do anything with it for like another few weeks. But there is a chance this could be finished. And I'm really quite excited for that. So I'm really hopeful this game gets finished. But until that point, I'm exceedingly skeptical if it ever will. Because again, like I said, it's been abandoned once before. There's a great chance it could just do it again. Now, I'm hopeful it won't, but like I've said, it's done happen once before. There's no guarantee it will ever just not happen again. Which is a shame. So how the ship works is you build walls, and then you build the inner hull once you've actually got, you know, the walls done. So you can actually start building an actual place for people to live. Bedrooms, food, water, drink, stuff like that. It all starts coming together. Generators, power, weapon batteries, and all sorts. There's a lot to the game, an awful lot to the game. The armor plates, shields, water coolers, life support, So you actually have oxygen and stuff like that. Do we actually have water? Yeah, we have water. Oh. But yeah, it's a crying shame. I'm hopeful that it does get back together. But I have to build on what we've currently got available. And what we've got available is potentially, it's a completely unknown. It's a complete and total unknown. So I really am hopeful. I really am. But we'll see how time goes by. I also have to keep stating again, I do not mind that things happen. Developers happen. There's a few people on this list where developers have had to part ways or life has got in the way. This is still to show the games that are currently either abandoned or in perpetual development hell. Guess that's a good way of putting it. How do I heal you guys? Need a health pad. Can't afford a health pad. Guess I will just go slowly healing. Resting, eating, or medical treatment. Resting, we need beds. But yeah, there are a lot of things that you can't access water. They're just going to die of water? Yeah, probably will. It's been a long time since I last played the game. Basically, you should have water and things. You should be able to access it pretty easily. Nope, they're still dying. That's a shame. But either way, yeah. It's hard to say what it is because it was literally just the developer who had radio silence. There was something going on with the family. They are potentially back, but like I've said, it is not the great priority in their life. I am actually pretty glad they've stopped trying to work themselves to death. That's always a bit of a worry. Yeah, just dying of water loss, aren't they? They're just dying of water loss. Okay. Let's build a water cooler here quickly. Come on, build it quick before they die. Yeah, he's dead. Basically, people die pretty quickly in this game. There we are. So people are now drinking water. So you have to get that built pretty quickly or people do die. You need to make sure that's food. As you can see, what's his face is dead. He might get shoved out the airlock, they usually do. Yep, he's got shoved out the airlock. So the AI was really quite good. The gameplay was set up. Dead people got kicked out. Soldiers and things went to their places. Your crew actually did stuff like operations, went and did equipment. Your military actually manned your guns and stuff like that. People did stuff. There was a huge amount going for it. But it has been 2 years of radio silence. Like I'm showing you, the game is feature complete. You can play this game for a couple of dozen hours. Like I've put about 30 hours into this game. I even did a series on this game. Is that water? Yeah, it's water. That's blue. That's water. I put time into this. I put a series into this game. But the problem goes, because no time was put into it after it was released, it is repetitive. You will get your money's worth, but then you'll forget about it. You combat ship. You can buy a crew for 780 credits. Okay, sell. I can sell gold. I don't have any of these. I can sell food, but I've only got food. Okay. As you can see, how you build things are a bit of a problem because this has to be moved. As this is now in the way. Bit of a problem. You go do that. Go build there. You can't access food. Problems. Always problems. So you need a food dispenser now. Of course, this will now get in the way too. They can't go through things. Once I build that, we're able to get water. So there was a lot of things in place to make the game work. But the current level is, like I said, abandoned. So even the AI of the crew, they build things, they repair things. They will do their darndest in combat to stop you destroying them. Absolute their darndest. Crying shame what happened. Oh. Can you please put the fire out, guys? Guys, put the fire out. Guys, fire, please. Why am I overheating? So if you get hit by things, you also overheat, so probably going to explode now. Which isn't ideal, I like not exploding. The game doesn't like you not exploding, so the very beginning of the game was very hard, the very ending was a lot easier. So obviously once you get to a certain stage, you're able to actually, build and stop everything. Okay, build me a food dispenser, right? Oh, I can't do anything with it because it's damaged. Yes, I know you can't access food. Can you put that out, please? Okay, please repair the floor. But there were bugs. Obviously they got fixed with time. Please repair the floor. Let's put the floor a bit even higher up, why not? Where's the floor now? Yep. We're probably all gonna die. But yeah, it had a lot of promise. It's obviously nothing much to look at. It was in the high days of Prison Architect RimWorld where everyone suddenly fell massively in love with this graphics. I mean, it's alright, it's serviceable, but it's only one step up properly from pixels. No, 16-bit, 32-bit. It's serviceable, we can tell what everything is. They're dead. It was also quite brutal at the very beginning, I forgot about that. Very brutal. Yeah, I know you can't access food. You're probably all going to die. It's amazing how brutal it was at the beginning. But no, like I say, it's still feature complete. It's still actually purchasable on Steam. It's not even that much at this stage of life. And hopefully if the developer comes back, I can just simply remove it. But yeah, there has been 2 years of complete silence. It is no longer the high priority of the man's life, and that's fine. He can have that. But it does also mean if you want to trust the game, you may have to, risk it. Like, significantly risk it. Because there's no guarantee that it's going to be finished ever. Which is a shame. We'll see how it goes. Now that's the risk of early access games. Like most of the things on my list are early access games apart from Space Base. Which is the reason why I came to this game, because of bloody Space Base, which we're also going to pick up. I'm literally going to buy that game again just to do a video on it. Ugh, that's going to be bad. I'll probably have to not be able to refund it the second time. Ugh. Bloody Space Base. Games where there's very few sci-fi games like it, and all you get is stuff which is just abandoned each and every time. Put that there, finish it off. There we go. But no, it works, it's feature complete. It's highly repetitive after a certain amount of time, but you will get your money's worth. I can't deny that, you will get your money's worth. I'm running out of food very soon. Come on. You just eat? I think you said. Definitely drank. But yeah, there's a lot of mechanics in the game. You have to have cooling to use your equipment. You have to have obviously oxygen for your people, so you need airlocks. If there was a breach in one of your rooms, your people would actually lose oxygen and die. You needed more engines, meant the faster you were and the more you could evade shots. You're still dying of hunger. You need CPUs to run gear. But obviously you also need some more power to run CPUs. The more weapons you had, the more cooling systems you needed. If you took direct hits from things and fires, your heating would go up. The hotter you are, the greater chance of fire. And if you're firing your weapons at a time when you're overheating, your weapons would explode. Like, obviously I'm not doing too well, someone's dead. And I don't have a save? Wow, my saves are all gone. Probably on the other computer. But yeah, everything worked. Everything is fun. Ironically, even though it's abandoned, I do recommend giving it a try. Because as I said, it does actually work, but... Oh, there it goes, floating off into space. But don't expect, you know, marvellous gameplay. It's one of those games where, to prove it's not abandoned, I'd highly recommend, you know, don't like what you see. This is basically the game, but just imagine more expanded as time goes by. More people, probably bigger ships shooting at you, so there's some excitement. But it's mostly the same stuff. It's one of those things where I would recommend waiting till it comes out into full release. If it ever gets to full release again, because it's on the fail state. I'm very sceptical. Now I'd like to see the game reappear. Hells, maybe the developer will see this video pop up and it's like 12 viewers. But it does go, it was abandoned once. And I'd rather him look after himself than go into that stage where he's trying to get a game finished for other people. Game crunch is a nightmare in the actual community. And they need to stop doing it to themselves. It does destroy their lives. Quite significantly, honestly. Ooh. As you can see, everything works. Getting silicon. Oh, I'm overheating. I think I need a second. I think I need a third. Yeah, I need a third cooling system. That's a shame. But everything works. It's just, it was abandoned. I'm repeating that because there's not really too much to say. It's not one of those games with this big, massive backstory. The developer just cut all silent, all radio communication one day, then randomly came back again after he found it was the best year of his life, and wants to keep doing things. But he did an AMA 10 months ago. He said he's going to start with doing it again 1 month ago. He says it's mostly complete what he has, so there's a high chance this game could just suddenly pop into existence, fully featured. But again, it could be another year down the line before there's another bug patch. There's no saying what the next stage will be. God, this ship is terrible looking. Maybe I should have just built something first. There's no saying at all what it's going to be. And that's why we're here. Oops. How do I do this again? Is it Q and E? There's a way to rotate. Oh, I'm turning things off. It wasn't them then. Oops. But yeah. It's a game you would get play out of, because it is pretty cheap. It's all metal. Made a bit of money. Not much. Not much at all actually, but made some money. I can of course buy crew in the future. I could try and blow up their ship. One of the things which is good at doing is trying to get asteroids to explode and hit their ship and destroy it that way. That way you get their resources and occasionally their crew. It's sneaky, but it was a way to do it. But yeah. It's a game I had fun with. It's not a game I can go back to as it currently is, because like I say, once you get towards the mid to high level ships, nothing becomes difficult anymore. Nothing at all. So it does have a limited lifespan, and there isn't too much replayability, because even though things vaguely change, you probably still want to do the exact same thing. You might even build the exact same ship unless you want to be adventurous. Unlike with games of RimWorld, where depending on the scenery or what happens, you might have to build defences early. Or maybe your entire place gets set on fire, so you have to live inside a mountain. This, you're probably building the exact same ship, doing the exact same things. So yeah. It's a shame. They're trying to leave. Okay, should I shoot them? It's a shame. It had a lot of potential. And potentially it can come back. That's why I'm a bit weird about this, because 2 episodes in and I'm already doing a game which might reappear, which is ironic. It might come back, but until signs have shown that development is actively working again, it's still just potentially wishful thinking. And that's a shame. Like, I am not going to decry, it's annoying that the game vanished, because I have like thousands of games. Even though I'm a small channel, I do have a lot of games I play, a lot of games I play for fun, and a lot of games I play for the channel. I'd probably have moved on from this game anyway, and I got about 37 odd hours out of it before I stopped. That's a lot for a repetitive game. That was one for me playing on my own, a let's play, and another one just to do stuff for this. So yeah, I got a lot of my time out of it. I wouldn't begrudge the developer's own spare time, but I can't tell you to get this, and I am warning you to beware in case it stays abandoned or dead. It's nice that the developer's back, but again, until another patch pops up or an update, it's still abandoned. Just because they're talking about it doesn't mean it's not abandoned. So yeah, sad. Wasn't quite sure where I'm going with that. I rambled a bit again. Fail State's a new series. I'm trying to get into it. We'll probably change things later. I apologise. If any pointers or things, like maybe an infograph or something on the screen, we'll start doing that. But either way, this has been Fail State, bringing to you the games which failed, or been abandoned, or have something majorly wrong with them. Starship Theory. A game which reached for the stars, literally, and then crashed to Earth. Hopefully, they can rebuild the pieces, because again, this actually has a slight sign of life, but until then, it's still a crater. I've been the Fallen Shogun. Thanks for watching another Fail State episode. Ciao for nows. Be awesome. Be epic. Bye bye.